Hello, everyone. Welcome to Awaken Your Freedom Show. Please subscribe to support our growing community. Today, we're doing a deep dive into some ideas that are really quite transformative. We're pulling insights from a framework called the subtle art of disciplined caring. Now, you might know it by its, let's say, more provocative title. It's all about how we choose where to put our emotional energy, or as the SOAR kind of playfully puts it, your limited fruits. Our whole mission here is to cut through all that noise and give you like a 10-minute blast of no-nonsense freedom. Something that can spark some fresh thinking, maybe inspire some bold moves. Think of it as a shortcut, getting you well-informed on a perspective that could really shift how you approach things.
It really can be a huge shift. Imagine you're in a super busy airport, right? Like total chaos. Announcements blaring, your phone's going off constantly, work stuff, family drama, whatever. Now, just picture hitting a massive mute button on everything. All the noise, the demands, gone. And in that quiet, you suddenly realize the world's still spinning. It didn't stop. That feeling, that moment, that's the core idea. Life's just too short to waste emotional energy, your focus on things that don't actually, move the needle for you, for your goals, your well-being.
That's a really powerful image. Yeah, really gets that idea of reclaiming your attention across. So let's unpack this. We've got 7 core principles from the source we want to explore, starting with a really foundational one. Pick your battles, pick your life. The idea here is pretty simple on the surface. We all have this finite emotional budget. Think of it as mental cash you get each day. And the source, well, drawing from Mark Manson, suggests most people basically go bankrupt. They just waste this energy on tiny things. Getting super worked up about traffic or chasing likes on LinkedIn, maybe obsessing if a post hit 100 reactions. It's this constant low-level drain. But then you have the quote-unquote winners. These are folks who consciously decide where that energy goes. They invest it, but only in values they've actually chosen, like health or mastering something, deep relationships, making an impact. They're super intentional. And there's this great real-world flash example, a Colombian fintech company. They almost imploded. Why? Because the CEO was obsessed with matching every single feature their competitors rolled out. Just chaos, feature bloat, bleeding cash.
Sounds familiar.
Right. So the CEO finally just stopped and asked, okay, what 2 metrics actually make or break us? They narrowed it down. Churn and customer acquisition cost. That single decision, it just cleared out all the roadmap clutter. The team then built one lean thing, a referral engine, and the result. They cut their customer acquisition costs by 27% in just 3 months. Wild.
Yeah, what's really key there isn't just that saving energy works, but the skill of figuring out what matters most. Amidst all the noise and constant demands, it's tough. The real challenge is building that discernment, choosing those few high-impact areas. It's like developing an internal compass.
It's compass, yeah.
That points to real impact, not just, busy work. That fintech story, it's not just about saving money. It's about the freedom that comes when you say no to most things and pour that energy back into what counts.
And choosing where you invest energy, it's not just about avoiding the bad stuff, is it? It changes how we think about happiness, too, which leads right into principle 2. Happiness are problems you enjoy solving. This one really pushes back against the idea that we should want a life without any pain. Manson just sort of blows that myth up. He argues that growth, real progress, it always involves swapping old problems for better problems, more meaningful ones.
Like building muscle.
Exactly. Building muscle means tearing fibers. It hurts. Building a business means wrestling with risk, facing challenges. It's not about avoiding problems. It's about upgrading them. The source uses Netflix as a great illustration. Remember the uproar when they killed password sharing back in 2023?
Oh, yeah. People were furious.
Totally. Threatening to cancel the whole bit. But despite all that noise, Netflix gained 9 million new subscribers by the end of the year. They basically took this headache, the people mooching my account problem, and flicked it into a revenue generator.
It makes sense looking back, sure. But how do leaders figure out which problems are the right ones to tackle? Which ones are worth the potential backlash versus just noise? This principle, it's not about seeking out pain for its own sake. It's about seeing that real solutions often come from tackling friction head-on. Good leaders don't dodge problems. They actively curate them. They choose the challenges worthy of their time and energy. So the question for you listening is, what problems are you choosing? Are they leading you towards real growth?
Curating problems, I like that. And it connects nicely to the 3rd principle, you're not special, and that sets you free. This can be a tough one, especially in what the source calls our participation trophy culture, right? Where everyone's told they're a unicorn.
Everyone's unique.
Yeah, but Manson's counter is, well, kind of brilliant. Accepting that you're ordinary, that you're not inherently special just for existing, that actually frees you up. It lets you learn, iterate, grow without your ego getting in the way, always needing to be seen as amazing. There's a great example from OpenAI's Dev Day in 2024. The place was flooded with founders demoing AI chatbots, so many claiming this is totally new.
Right, seen that movie before.
Exactly. 99% were variations on a theme. So who got funded? The humble teams, the ones who basically said, look, we're not reinventing the wheel here. We're just going to solve onboarding better than anyone else. They dropped the special act and focused on just doing it well.
And it's fascinating, isn't it, how letting go of that need to be completely unique can actually lead to real progress. This idea, it connects right to craftsmanship, to humility. In a world full of noise, doing better often comes from just a relentless focus on execution, solving practical problems really well. It's not always about the flashy brand new idea. Sometimes it's about making the best wrench, like you said, quietly, consistently.
Such a good analogy, the simple, well-done stuff. And speaking of taking control, that brings us to number 4. Radical responsibility beats victimhood. This one's huge. The idea is when you blame everyone else for your problems, you're basically handing over your power, your agency.
You become passive.
Exactly. But when you own your response to things, even unfair things, things you didn't cause, you grab the steering wheel back. You're in control of your life again. There's this powerful case study in the source. During the 2025 Silicon Valley hiring freeze, this senior engineer, super experienced, couldn't even get interviews. Instead of just complaining about the market, how unfair it all was, she pivoted. She started doing contract work for LATAM scale-ups and, fast-growing tech companies in Latin America.
Smart move.
Totally. Doubled her income, adjusted for dollars, and now she's mentoring other developers on how to do remote freelancing. The source puts it perfectly. Same economy, different ownership.
Wow. Same economy, different ownership. That really lands. It's so easy to blame external stuff, isn't it? But seeing her pivot like that, it's a powerful reminder of where our control really lies. This principle, it unlocks so much resilience, so much creativity and problem solving, even when things look bleak. So it makes you ask, right, where might you be letting go of the steering wheel? How can you take it back?
Yeah, that's a tough question to sit with. And taking back control leads right into Principle 5, which is about protecting that emotional budget we talked about. The power of saying no. This is more than just being polite. The source calls it a double no. Every time you say yes to something, you're implicitly saying no to your own time, your energy, your sanity.
Right, it's an opportunity cost.
Exactly. But the flip side, saying no clearly, strategically, it signals your priorities, not just to others, but to yourself. And it builds credibility. People start respecting your boundaries. The source gives a really practical tactic here. Draft a not doing list for a whole quarter, maybe Q3. And don't keep it secret. Make it public. List the projects, the meetings, even the WhatsApp groups you're bowing out of. Put it where your team can see it. The source says you'll watch how fast they guard your calendar because those boundaries are out in the open.
It's amazing how making boundaries public changes the dynamic, isn't it? When you're clear about what you won't do, it automatically clarifies what you will prioritize. It helps everyone. And connecting it back, these clear public boundaries are essential for protecting your focus, for guarding that finite emotional budget. They make sure your energy goes to the things that really truly move the needle for you and your work. It's self-preservation, really, but it helps everyone because you can deliver your best work.
Such a powerful, practical step. And speaking of delivering, let's move to number 6. Fail forward with the do something principle. This one really flips conventional wisdom. We usually think we need motivation before we act, like you have to feel like it first.
Right, wait for inspiration to strike.
Yeah. But Manson argues the opposite. Action isn't the result of motivation. Action is the engine that creates it. You build momentum first, then the enthusiasm follows. The source suggests a micro-experiment. Let's say you're totally stuck on launching an online course, just frozen. Don't try to perfect the whole thing. Tonight, just record a quick, 90-second explainer video, then post it somewhere, anywhere. Don't overthink it, get it out there. That little feedback loop, even if it's small, it sparks motivation. The key takeaway is powerful. Perfectionism dies under the weight of progress.
It's so true. Taking that small, imperfect step can just unlock everything.
Yeah.
It emphasizes how progress is iterative. You don't need the grand plan or this huge burst of inspiration. You just need to, do something, anything. That first action. Even if it feels awkward or unfinished, it gives you data, it creates feedback, and crucially, it builds the very motivation you thought you needed in the first place. Like pushing a car that's stuck. That first little nudge is the hardest. Then it starts rolling.
Get that first nudge in, yeah.
Ah.
Okay, seventh and final core principle, and maybe the most profound. Memento mori, the ultimate filter. Sounds kind of grim, right? Remember death. But it's not meant to be depressing. It's actually incredibly liberating. Manson's echoing ancient Stoic ideas here. One day, every email, every KPI, every selfie, it's all going to vanish.
Poof. Puts things in perspective.
Totally. Recognizing that ultimate impermanence, it sharpens your priorities like nothing else. The source has this really impactful perspective jolt. Ask yourself, will 80-year-old me care I lost that client? Or will 80-year-old me care I skipped my daughter's recital? Suddenly, through that lens, the whole scoreboard changes. What truly matters just snaps into focus.
That is such a powerful filter. It's so easy to get lost in the day-to-day urgent stuff, right? But this forces you to zoom out, to see the truly important things. So again, the question for you listening, what would your 80-year-old self tell you to focus on today? If you connect it all, Memento Mori helps align what you do today with your long-term values. It helps you avoid regret. It's like the ultimate decision-making tool, cutting away the trivial so you can go all in on what gives your life meaning.
Okay, so those are the 7 big principles. Really shifts how you think about disciplined caring. But it's not just theory, right? The source gives us some fresh sparks, practical ways to actually use this philosophy, starting now. First up, a weekly FREC budget. Every Sunday night, just sit down and list 3 things, only 3. Pursuits truly worthy of your emotional energy for that week. Everything else, background noise. You're consciously allocating that precious resource.
Proactive, not reactive.
Exactly. Second, the problem upgrade ritual. When some trivial hassle pops up, something that used to annoy you, immediately ask, okay, what higher quality problem could I be tackling right now? It's about instantly redirecting. Instead of stewing about slow Wi-Fi, maybe shift that energy to figuring out how to optimize your workflow for when the connection is bad.
Turning annoyance into strategy. Nice.
Right. Third, a public failure challenge. This one's bold. Post a learning goal on LinkedIn, say, and then post your daily progress for 30 days straight. The point isn't bragging. It's building what the source calls embarrassment immunity. As you get more comfortable with public imperfection, the skills just follow. It's accountability on steroids.
Forces progress over perfection.
Yep. And finally, the deathbed debrief. Once a quarter, actually write a 1-page draft of your own obituary. Seriously. Then, compare that draft to how you really spent the last 90 days. That contrast. It's a powerful nudge to course correct if your daily actions aren't lining up with the legacy you want to leave.
These aren't just neat ideas, are they? They're real tools for disciplined caring. They move you from just reacting to life to actively designing a life based on your values. These practices help you consciously choose where that emotional budget goes, making sure your energy is invested where it truly matters for you, leading to bigger impact and, honestly, more freedom.
So just to wrap it up, Mark Manson isn't telling you to stop caring, right? It's not apathy. It's disciplined caring. It's about intentionally trimming that cluttered emotional budget, getting rid of the noise, the trivial stuff, so you can pour all your energy, your focus, your passion into those few things that really light you up, and importantly, that benefit others too. So next time your phone buzzes with some drama, just pause. Ask yourself that question from the source. Is this purchase of my limited flax going to appreciate or depreciate my life's portfolio?
Choose wisely, and then go all in on what truly matters. Your future self and, frankly, everyone who benefits from your focused energy will definitely thank you.
To close, please don't forget to subscribe on your favorite platform, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or Spotify to stay sharp and never miss a drop of knowledge that could change your financial life. Thank you.